All right, good couple days of practice. Tremendous challenge Saturday night. Going on the road, playing a very, very good football team. They're very good at home. Very good offensively, solid defensively. Just a tremendous challenge for us Saturday night. Kids are excited about it. Just looking forward to the matchup. Got to have a great finish to the week, and then great mental stuff, preparing for the matchup, and then get ready to kick it off. Questions?
Coach IBM said y'all could use at least some Ryan Stevens to kind of simulate.
Yeah, he's been a pain in the butt this week.
Yeah, he was pretty good high school.
Yep.
So how's he going to do with playing some quarterback?
No, I told him he was a 5'5" Michael Vick yesterday. So, but now he's done a great job. I tell you, Ryan, just tremendous attitude. He's really grown up a lot since he's been here. And I keep telling him, eventually, you're going to see him on the field for us. And but he's been great back there this week and giving us a really good look.
Does Chad, does he get to hit his younger brother at all?
I don't think he's got him yet.
Yeah.
So he may not get him this week since we've finished the padded practices. So he's hard to grab hold of now. He's pretty shifty.
When the guys go on the road like this, how do you prepare them as far as, Old Dominion was a little bit different. It's going to be kind of similar. It's a smaller stadium, but they're pretty active and that kind of thing.
Well, it's just, our guys are pretty professional with it. The older guys have been on so many road trips, they know how to handle themselves. The only difference is, this one's close enough to bus and still fly. But we handle Old Dominion very well with our preparation. It'll be a very similar Friday, Saturday for us.
When you're one of those really loud atmospheres, obviously not for you guys, this is an away game. Is there any extra motivation or kind of way to feed off that noise against you guys?
Well, just like we talked about with Old Dominion, it's you go on the road and you got to be a road warrior. You got to go in there and just focus on sticking together and circle the wagons kind of mentality and just focus on doing your job. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a very unified group. Focused on the 11 on the field, trusting their teammates and doing their part. Our players they'll be ready to go.
How has Chase kind of been? He had the fumble, seemed a little frustrated after that. Maybe
he's been good. I had a good talk with him on Monday, and he can't do anything about missing the time during preseason camp. But he's got to do a great job mentally, just handling making a mistake. He can't let one mistake turn into two kind of deal. So I thought he's had a good week of practice. I thought he's had the perfect kind of response this week. Very motivated. Looking forward to seeing what he can do Saturday night.
Every game and every opponent's different, but generally, how do you kind of sustain early success and keep it going throughout the game? That's a broad question, but how do you go about doing that?
Well, it really, you're talking a lot execution-wise, especially offensively. We're stopping ourselves a lot, and we got to get beyond that. And obviously, playing a very good defense has a lot to do with it. But I felt like the other night that we stopped ourselves more than we got stopped, and it comes down to us controlling what we can control. And so it's what we just got finished talking about on the field, and that's what the focus for Thursday and Friday is going to be.
Follow up to that, with that tempo on offense, sometimes the guys, they're still trying to get used to going that fast and trying to get their assignments right and that kind of thing.
Well, I think that's it. I think you're going to continue to see us improve as the season goes on, because you have a new scheme and you have new people, and it's the first time running it together, and you've worked through some stuff, and that's the challenge is just the execution. And again, I just think you will continue to see us play better and better as the year goes on.
How's Conrad's confidence level right now after missing a few?
He's fine. The extra point was kind of an outlier. The guy running on the field, like they had 10 on the field, and the guy ran in there right as we're getting ready to snap it, and it kind of spooked him a little bit. But And the field goal, he said I didn't allow enough for the wind, and but he's fine. He hit those other two kicks pure, and he was really good yesterday when we kicked. So I expect him to be fine.
3 games in, how happy are you with the rotation as far as personnel and offense and defense, getting guys in, that sort of thing?
Well, I'd like to see more. I've said we need more guys to come along because we need more guys in the rotation. And we've had a few pick it up this week, and but I think we're best when we're fresh. And so we got to make sure that we rotate enough to keep ourselves fresh for the fourth quarter. And so you hope to see maybe some younger guys come along, maybe some older backups that have been you kind of challenging them that they need to be on the field. And then they just got to go out there and show it. And that's the thing, is you got to show everybody, coaches, you got to show your teammates that you can be trusted. And trust means just doing what you're supposed to do, and giving great effort, and embracing the culture of we're going to play our tails off, we're going to be physical, we're going to focus on doing our piece. Anything else?
It's one game at a time, and then the next opponent.
That's it.
Your regular season winning streak, does that add a little bit? And do you mention that to your team?
It's just the challenge. I mean, they've had a good run the last year and a half, and so it's it breeds a lot of confidence, and we've talked about that in here, and it's a great opportunity for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, let's do it. Let's get it right this week.
Coming off that one, Coach, you score a touchdown on defense, but also left one out there at the end with the drop pick. So how do you talk about your team and opportunities like that?
Opportunities, you don't get so many in the game, and just really proud of the effort our guys played with. I think they're playing hard. I think they're playing physical, doing those things. But when an opportunity comes your way, whether it's a third down opportunity or a ball in the air, you only get so many of those. The offense only makes a mistake so many times, and especially a good quarterback like he was. So we got to capitalize on that. And especially when the game's on the line, that one sticks out with Gavin there at the end. But there's one earlier in the game with Jamarly makes his. That's a hell of a play right there by a freshman coming across the middle, and he has a great break on it. Everything, just when he hits the ground, he kind of lands on it instead of rolling with it. So we got to work on that a little bit. Omar dropped one, I think, early in the game as well, first quarter. That you pick those 3 balls and force 6 turnovers. Now you really feel good about it, and it probably changes the outcome of the game. So turnovers are huge. It's part of our culture, not only playing hard, playing physical, but creating those turnovers, and we got to keep capitalizing on those opportunities. Just really proud of Siobhan, the one he had, the one that Gavin had, another one, in the game, early in the game, made a great play on the ball, and then Zakai forced one, and Raheem recovered it down there. But we got a few more out we left out there that we could have had, and I think that could have been the difference in the game defensively for us.
3 games in, what do you like from your unit? What have you learned, and what do you guys grow?
Yeah, I tell you this, I don't have any question about they're going to play hard. I don't have any questions about they're going to play physical. We got to keep growing and doing our job, keep growing in our assignment and being sound there in our technique and our fundamentals, and that'll come because we know every week offenses are going to be the same. They're going to be better each and every week. Create new challenges, so we got to make sure we're ready up for those challenges and be ready to kind of rise to them. And some of that's going to come with just focusing on us, not necessarily our opponent, but focusing on us, how we can do our job better, how we can play better technique, how we can do a better job communicating, and those type things, and make sure we're all on the same page and get stops. Held them 2 touchdowns last week, and we got to continue to get stops. And I think for me, it's those third down stops played a big part in that game. And the first one of the game, had a chance to go 3 and out. And we really, we go 3 and out and get a penalty or catches over there, and then go 3 more plays and get off the field. But it's just a game of field position there. Then late in the fourth quarter, I think we had 2 third down conversions. You'd love to have those 2 back as well. So, they're a good football team, good offense. You give them the credit, and they made some plays, and they're going to make some plays. But third down is a chance for us to get off the field, get the ball back to our offense, and for us to get a chance to sit on the bench for a little while.
What are some of the challenges you see with Liberty?
Yeah, I think anytime you face a option team, a chance to hand the ball off inside, pull it, pitch it, it creates challenges, or maybe a new look for your defense. The new option is the RPO. Everybody, dive quarterback, or they throw the hitch out there, or slant or whatever, and now it's just pitching it. So that's a challenge to just make sure we're assignment sound there. Their quarterback's a good player. I mean, he's certainly, worth all the hype, all American, whatever he may be there, and he can take it the distance at any time. He makes their offense go. I think him and Cooley, the running back, really good, 1-2 punch in there. And I know this from playing with the option for years, of being part of those staffs. Anytime you had a really good quarterback and a really good fullback, your offense is tough to defend, and Liberty certainly is. And they got a lot of other players around that. And don't take, not to leave those guys out, but it starts with those 2. So that's certainly where the challenge begins.
IBM said you guys did an extra sideline tackling drill this past week. week. How much emphasis have you put on open field tackling because it's available to get to the corner, and how well do you think your team's open field tackling so far?
We tackle every day. You know, it's something we do, whether it's against our offense, whether it's against scouts, against ourselves, you know, our scout period. It's go at it every Tuesday, go at it every Wednesday, of freaking thudding guys up and trying to do a great job, not reaching, get my feet to contact, taking an extra step, keeping the cup, having proper leverage on the ball carrier, all those type of things. And then we want our pursuit to be so great that if we do miss a tackle, we got guys there to get it on the ground. And I think that's what we've done a good job of, is just pursuing the football. So if we miss a tackle or somebody does have an overrun, which we don't, you know, we try to coach it up and teach it up, but we get guys there to keep it on the ground. So, you know, I think the perimeter is where it shows up more than anything, just because you got more space out there. And I think we've done a fairly good job of it. We can always be better. You know, you don't want to miss any tackle. So anytime you miss a tackle, hey, we go back and we look at it and refocus and relook at it. So, and this week is no different. I mean, they got A-backs so they can get on the perimeter, pitch a ball to. They got their screens out wide. Obviously, the quarterback in the scramble game or in the option game can create some issues in space as well. So we got to do a good job just keeping our leverage, get the near foot up, keeping our eyes on the thigh board, all those type of things of being good tacklers.
Coach, going back to Cooley, when you watch him on film, what specifically makes him so tough to defend?
I think in his career he's only had like 2 negative rushes. You know, I think he's got 180 yards after contact this year. I have 250 yards total. He's a heck of a player. I mean, he's, you know, low to the ground, center of gravity, bowling ball in there, and you don't ever see somebody just tackle him by yourself. They bounce off of him. He's always falling forward, always lunging forward. He's a true, like, downhill back and tough to tackle, hard-nosed kid, really good football player. Lucas as well, the number 0 as well. He's kind of a mold to that as well, and it's that part of their offense. It's just they get downhill on you and can chew up some yards in a hurry for sure.
What's the chess match like this week? Staffs know each other well, so just kind of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, going back to Coach Chadwell's staff, I think we played him a couple times when he was at North Greenville, a couple times at Charleston Southern, once in the playoffs there, and then obviously in the bowl game a couple years ago, similar staff. Know Coach Corn really well. A couple of those guys on that staff have GA'd for me before, so a lot of familiarity there. But I think it's really just kind of focus on us and doing our job and making sure we go out and, you know, execute at a high level defensively of doing our job, playing and protect our culture, playing our butts off. Yeah, obviously there's going to be some calls within the game that you're trying to get a step ahead of him or he's trying to get a step ahead of you, and you got to try to, you know, make sure, you know, at the same time, if your players aren't executing your calls, you got to pull the thumb and pull it back on you. You got to make sure it's easy enough calls. Your scheme is simple enough that allows them to go play fast. So if there's some hesitation there, you better kind of look in the mirror and say, hey, what can I take away to help us play faster and give us a chance to win a ball game?
I know you can't give away too much, but it looked like a night and day first half, second half 2 weeks ago when they played New Mexico State. Were you able to pick up on anything that New Mexico State was doing right in the first half? They seem to not do as well in the second half.
Yeah, New Mexico State's a good football team. I thought they ran out of gas a little bit at the end, you know, and I thought the quarterback came alive in the fourth quarter. You know, him and Cooley both, like, they took that game over in the last couple of drives. They broke 2 long runs in there. You know, they're in a 2-minute situation, and you think it's going to be all little passes, and he scrambles around, the quarterback makes some plays. But at the end of the day, I think they handed off for about 50 for Cooley. New Mexico State zeroed out, pressured, about a minute and a half to go in the game. Minute 24 to be exact, and he breaks on one for about 46 yards. They misfit it, and that's how they lose the game. So, and they were only down by, you know, I think Liberty was down by 2, so they're trying to hold them to a field goal. So they only got about 20 more yards to be in field goal range. But you got to kind of keep that thing corralled, and especially have an eye on those 2 guys, because those would be the 2 guys they go to when they need to play.
The guys, you know, played really well, playing a lot of snaps too. How do you keep them fresh and playing at the level you?
Yeah, that's the big key right now is keeping our guys fresh. You know, we're playing a bunch of snaps, and every week is, hey, Tuesday, Wednesday, we got to go get our work in. And as soon as it's, you know, the afternoon, they got to start rehabbing their bodies. I think Zakai does a really good job of in the training room, cryo, massages, everything he can do to kind of take care of his body. He treats it like a professional. And we got so many others that do that as well. I mean, Mike has to do the same. IBM has to do the same. Siobhan, Devin King, just because the number of reps they play. Gavin Gibson has to do the same. And our whole football team. If you want to go play your fastest ball on Saturday night, you got to prepare yourself that way. You can't just say, I'm just going to cruise through this thing. You got to go attack recovering your body. You got to go attack the game plan. You got to go attack academics. You got to go win the day in those things. But you also got to do it in recovery and make sure your body is back to full speed for Saturday night, because you want to be at full speed and playing your fastest to go play.
Talking to Zakai and Isaiah yesterday, I was pretty impressed with the way the loss didn't really get him down. It sounds like it motivated him even more. Have you seen that at practice this week? They kind of led the other guys like that.
First thing I say about our guys, and not just Zakai and IBM, I think they're a great representative for our defense and our program, is our guys are resilient. And they're fighters, and they're not going to let one game define them. I think I heard Zakai say that. And it's back to work. It's, hey, put that in the rear view. Let's look out the windshield, and let's get back to work and get back to the grind. And that's what we teach in life. That's so many of us, we go out to our jobs or to pay our bills or whatever it may be. Hey, we can't let one little thing get us down. Yeah, it was a huge game for us. It was a heartbreaker. We upset about it, but we more motivated by it than anything. We more motivated to get it fixed, get it turned around, and make sure we play better defense. Make sure we keep points off the board, and gives ourselves a chance to win. So, what can we do this week to be better than last week? And that's the goal, whether we won or lost Saturday night. That's the goal every week. But I think sometimes after a loss, it motivates you even more to turn it up even more, because that's what really kind of catches your attention sometimes. Sometimes a win doesn't catch your attention like a loss does. And that's what those guys, they represent our whole football team and our whole defense of that message they sent there.
Have you had to change up some of the verbiage this week so that Taylor doesn't give their offense any keys?
Taylor Jackson was a good player for us and did a really good job here, and just, proud of him as a young man, and just really care about him and his mom and his family there. But yeah, he'll be on the other sideline. Our guys probably worried about that in the summer a little bit. So we always change our stuff up year to year, week to week, and do some different things there, because, things get out, things get around, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. You better always kind of protect those things and protect your verbiage, protect your signals, because eventually it gets passed around, so you got to be aware of that. It's just college football. Obviously, if you watch the Connor Stallion stuff, you can, I tell our guys that's football 101 for stealing signals there. So.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Coach, you guys obviously started, the last game strong. What do you think kind of happened after that? Some consistent results.
Really, it was just not sustaining drives. One thing that we had done really well the first two games was, convert on third downs. I think we were at like 55, 56%. And then the other night we just had we had critical breakdowns on about 6 or 7 third downs, whether it was an alignment issue, false start down there tight, going in to score. And we had a culmination of those type of things that, when you don't get a bunch of plays in the game, you gotta convert on those third downs. And we didn't do that the other night, and that's ultimately what led to us, having some inconsistencies of just not executing, not doing our job in critical situations.
Rewatching, it seemed like it was kind of maybe quarterback missed a play or running back here, O-line there. It was just one little thing on every play.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. Going back and watching it again, you just felt like I didn't feel like we were playing bad. It was just when we got to those critical situations where, whether it was a third and medium, third and long type deal, it was, felt like one guy on every time didn't do his job, or, wasn't lined up in the right spot. And, that's us on us as coaches, making sure that we're getting enough reps at certain things. But also there's accountability with the kids too. They know that what their job is, and they got to go do it. So it's a culmination of everything. But yeah, that's what it felt like going back and watching it again.
You see Jake grow up a little bit in that game, and he had the late pick, which really hurt. But during the game, it seemed like he was, he'd come up a level.
Yeah, he was calm, cool, collected the whole time, which is how he's always been. I thought he played really well. I thought he made great decisions. Everybody's looking at the interception, and it's one of those deals. The kid made a nice play. He fell off a deep post, and I've seen Jackson Dart throw that interception. I've seen Matt Corral throw that interception on a deep over route that we're trying to throw. And so it's unfortunate for a game that I thought he played really well, made good decisions. He's got to protect the ball a little better, when things break down in the backfield. But for the most part, I thought he was really clean.
When things do break down, and there's a scramble drill type of thing, how's Jake doing there, and how much do you guys work on that part of it?
Yeah, we work it every day in individual. You know, anytime that we're working pocket movement type stuff, you know, somebody's banging at the ball because you're going to have guys around you. You know, as good as we're protecting right now, for the most part, you know, you're going to have guys swiping at the ball, and the ball is the program, and we got to die with the ball. And so when guys get around us, he's got to protect. He's got to keep two hands on it. There's just a couple times he got loose the other night, and the ball popped out, and luckily he was able to fall right on it. But, you know, it's something that he's done a great job with, but we got to continue to work it because it's going to continue to come up in games.
How about as far as him and the receivers go, when a play kind of breaks down, that connection right there?
Yeah, you know, we work scramble drill all the time. You know, anytime, you know, if they ever cover us up in a skelly period, it's immediately goes into scramble drill. So people have, you know, direct assignments of where you're at based on the field, what you should do next, and it's something that you work all during spring ball or during fall camp. And you know, I don't feel like we've had a ton of those situations in games yet, but they'll come up as we go.
Liberty, watching them, they seem to disguise some things. They also play a lot of man coverage, so what do you see from them on that?
Yeah, they're going to challenge you. That's for sure. And you know, they're going to come up and play man covers. They've shown that. I think they're really good up front. I think they're deep up front. They're gonna put their guys in situations to go make plays, and it's a challenge to our guys that you got to go win your one-on-ones, and whether that's out on the edge or up front. You know, they're going to put our backs in situations where they got to protect and pass pro. But the thing about them is, you know, they're very sound fundamentally in what they do schematically. But for those guys, you know, they're used to winning, and they've done it the last couple of years, and so it's a group that's played a lot of ball together, but one that's had a ton of success too.
The receivers, when they know they're going to get some man, I mean, don't you kind of have to, I don't know, challenge them, say, go win one-on-one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. It's, you know, it's just the same. Like if you know you're going into a game, getting a light box, you know, you kind of put it on the O-line and those guys up front. But for us, we got to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to throw the ball. But for sure, anytime our receivers get matched up in man-to-man, it's a challenge to them. They got to go win.
The kid's their free safety, I guess. He was actually a former center fielder at Liberty. He kind of plays a center field role back there. You had to say anything extra to Jake this week about, you know, not kind of staring guys down because he is such a ball hawk back there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's shown on tape multiple times that you know, he's gotten a couple of guys this season. You know, got the guy from Campbell once, got the guy from UTEP once. That if you're not disciplined with your eyes and putting them in the right spot, he'll make you pay. I mean, he's got 2 interceptions. One of them got called on a PI by the corner. But that guy, he does a good job. He's, like he said, he plays center field back there, and you know, we got to do a good job of moving them with our eyes and making sure we're being disciplined, you know, in what we're doing.
How do you address the drops? I mean, that's been a huge problem, but we saw it. What do you say about those?
Catch the ball. No, I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, it hasn't been an issue, I feel like, since we've been here. You know, all spring, fall camp, caught the ball well. And there was a couple of them that, you know, it was a bang play. DB did a good job getting his hand in there, but, you know, Coach Roberts would tell you the exact same. Like, if we get our hands on it, we got to catch the ball. And there's throws we missed, there's balls we dropped, there's pass pros we didn't pick up. It was a lot of different things that, at the end of the day, we just didn't execute at a high enough level to win the football game. And it's frustrating because I know the potential is there and we can. But we got to go put it together for four quarters yet, and we haven't yet. We haven't done that in the game, and that's, you know, it's frustrating at one sense, but it's also exciting because I know and still believe in the potential of our guys, and our guys do too, and they're frustrated too. And so I'm excited for when they click, it'll click and it'll look how we want it to look.
One factor that I'm sure is tempo. Great start this last Saturday, but does it get a little hard to sustain that for 4 quarters when you're going so fast and just kind of, you know, not as much time in between snaps?
No, I mean, we're used to it. You know, we're built for it. We do it every day in practice. There are certain situations, though, where, you know, whether it's a dead ball situation or a third down deal where we need to slow it down and make sure we're getting the right personnel or the right play. But no, it's something that, you know, if we're snapping the ball, we're trying to do it, you know, at a good clip. And so I don't think that's an issue for us as far as just sustaining it. You know, we've done it ever since we've been here. It's the first thing we talk about.
Chase, in particular, you know, has had a bit of an up and down start after missing a lot of time. Y'all had to kind of say anything to him, pick him up a little bit?
No, I mean, he's a I say he's a younger guy, but he's played ball. He played a lot last year, and so it's just him just kind of recentering and just, again, I think kind of a little bit how it was ODU. He's just maybe trying to do a little too much because he wants it, you know, and like all of our guys do. They all want to do well. They all want to be successful, but just understanding, like, what you are is enough. Like, Chase Sowell has enough talent to just go out and do his job and execute. And just not trying to do too much, and just having him settling in, you know, just like everybody else, just settling into this deal and getting a feel for just game by game how to play.
There was one couple in one particular chase where he had his hands on it, but it came in about 100 miles an hour. Do you have to tell Jake to maybe throw a changeup?
No, grip it and rip it. That's the game plan for him. So no, we got to put the ball in a little better spot. But you know, if like I said earlier, if the ball is near those guys, and Coach Roberts, he would echo my same sentiments. Like, if that ball's in the area, we got to catch it.
Are you pretty happy with the personnel, like rotation-wise, 3 games in? How do you kind of feel about that?
No, it's been good. I think this last game we didn't do as good a job as we had the first 2 as far as rotating guys as it got later in the game. And part of that was just because of the lack of snap count. The snap count hadn't got real high, but still, you know, we had a couple of long drives early in the game where it kind of, I think it wore some guys out, where we could have done a better job subbing and getting some guys in the game. And we got guys that deserve to play more. And so I think we got to do a better job with that because, you know, hopefully moving forward, you know, whatever we had the other night, 58, 59 snaps, you know, that's the least amount we have all season. So as we play more snaps in a game, you know, we got to get some other guys more snaps.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
No, appreciate it, guys.